Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a 75-minute Yin practice with Yoga Nidra at the end. I hope you've had a wonderful week. I know it's been a challenging time for many people, but the weather here in the Vancouver area has been beautiful. So hopefully you've had a chance to feel that healing of the sunshine and see all the beautiful cherry blossoms and flowers popping up everywhere. And just a reminder that Sunday night at the same time, 7:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we'll have another Yin practice. And tomorrow will be 9:15 a.m. Power Yoga, 90 minutes. So a great strong practice if you're up for that first thing in the morning. Let's begin tonight in a nice tall seat. And tonight our practice will be focused around relieving stress. A lot of postures that are held for long periods of time or oriented towards opening the heart and getting the energy flowing up and down the spine. So find yourself in any comfortable seat. I have a bunch of props here that I like to use there from my couch, so you don't have to have anything too fancy. Big cushion, a little cushion. I do have a couple of yoga blocks, but you can really use any kind of supports and any blanket that you feel comfortable covering yourself with at the end. So for seated postures, I usually like to sit up onto a block or a couple of cushions. Let's take this opportunity at the beginning of the practice to find ourselves here in this present moment. Bring awareness to who you are as you are right here, right now. In the Yin practice, we hold postures for time with the hopes of releasing slowly any contained areas of tension or tightness. Often they are in certain areas of the body, and so we need to do poses that will slowly allow a release of the tight fascia around those areas, but then that helps to open up other areas as well. We might be compensating on one side of the body or part of the body for a tightness in some other area. So when we can flush out those tight areas, then it helps to get the circulation going evenly throughout the body. So tonight, find your breath, find yourself present here. Give yourself permission to completely remove yourself from whatever is around you and your thoughts and your life, anything that might be creating tension for the next 75 minutes. Give yourself this gift. Hands can come to your heart center. Take the next few breaths to identify an intention for your practice this evening. Might be something that you're working on here on your mat or in your life. They're always related. And find a collective intention, something for the greater good, something that you can offer the energy of this practice to. And I know many of you probably just celebrated all the amazing heroes that are in our community. So you're welcome to dedicate to those people or anyone else that you like, or anywhere else that you like. Many places in the world right now really struggling with this pandemic and don't have access to the resources like we do here in Canada or in North America. Maybe sending a little extra energy and love out into those places in the world. And finally, a dedication combined with your intention, and we'll seal it with one sound of Om. Take a deep clearing breath in through your nose. A big sigh out your mouth. Exhale. Inhale for Om. Om. Another breath in and a full breath out. Take these next few breaths to center and settle. Welcome yourself to your practice and bow your mind into the beautiful light of your own heart, with a reminder that your heart is truly the mind of this practice. As you're ready, release your hands down to your thighs, blink your eyes open. We'll meet in a tabletop position. And just a few rounds here of cat and cow pose. So walk your knees back so they're about midpoint or a little further back on your mat. Palms are spread wide, fingertips rooting down, tuck your toes. Inhale your tailbone up, tummy down, chest up. As you exhale, curl the tailbone under, untuck your toes as well, round the spine, chin to chest. Just a few movements like that. You're welcome to add in any variations that you like to awaken the spine, connect the breath to movement, and notice any places that you might be holding tension. This is a really good diagnostic pose for the spine. A couple more breaths here. Last round of breath. Around the spine, chin to chest. And now coming back to a neutral position, tuck your toes, walk your hands further forward, and start to melt your heart down toward the mat. And as the heart melts down, see if you can extend your fingertips even further forward and keep the hips over top of your knees. Forehead can come straight down. Maybe even tent up on your fingertips and see if you can walk them a little bit further forward so arm bones are lifting up. This is heart melting pose. Now you're welcome to stay in this very extended version with the forehead down. If you have the space, you can always bring the chin forward. And we just have a couple of minutes in this pose. It's not a super long hold, but it's a hold that's meant to open up the sidelines of the body from the hips to the rib cage. And the heart especially. So as the heart melts down and the arms are extending, you're opening up through the lymph nodes, a connection to our immunity, connection into the central area of our chakra system, the heart right in the center of all the 7 energy centers. So heart is extending down toward the mat, hips are lifting back and up, either forehead down or chin forward. You're always welcome to be propped up onto blocks if you need, or any other kind of supports. Every inhale, see if you can lengthen your spine, work your hips away from your fingertips. As you exhale, let the heart melt even further toward the mat. With every inhale breath, scoop up any bits of tension and tightness that might be underneath your arms, in your heart, in your spine, in your hips. And as you exhale, melt deeper and let that go. The last few deep breaths here. Deep inhale through the nose. Sigh out your mouth or flutter your lips. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Then untuck your toes. Walk your hands back so you can land your hips on your heels. Feel free to put cushion under your thighs if you need. Relax your forehead down. Arms beside your body, palms facing up beside your hips, finding Balasana, child pose. Take a deep cleansing breath in through your nose. A full sigh out your mouth. Exhale. And here we'll take 3 Brahmari breaths to really clear out any tension. This Brahmari breath signals your parasympathetic nervous system to kick in. If it's not already, this is the zone of resting, digesting, and relaxing. And this is the zone we want to be in for a yoga practice. And it will take you out of that sympathetic zone, that fight and flight zone that we're in most of the time, especially when we're under stress. So exhaling with a humming sound with the lips closed for the next 3 breaths. Deep clearing breath in through your nose. Stay in child pose for the next 2. Inhale. Last one. Take 2 more rounds of breath here any way that you like. Last breath, inhale and exhale. Now slowly, very slowly, start to roll yourself up, curl up. Elbow curling towards your heels, spine rounding, chin into chest until the very last moment. Lift your head, roll the shoulders back, really luxurious roll up. Take your fingertips to the side to support yourself to come onto your right hip and let your legs extend out from underneath you. And make sure you have a block, a bolster, or a cushion next to your hips. Press down into your feet, guide your hips closer to your heels, and support yourself to slowly roll down all the way down onto your back. And from here, walk your feet right underneath your knees so you can tickle your heels. Take your block on any setting. The lowest setting will be more gentle. The second setting will be a little bit more intense. The last setting, not necessarily recommended, but if you want to hold a deep back bend, you can put it on the highest setting. Lift up your hips and slide that block, or it can be cushions or a bolster, anything that you like for a little bit of added height underneath your hips. Let your palms turn up, away from your body, shoulders relax, open, close your eyes, and we'll be here, supported bridge pose for a good long hold. Allow the sensation of support underneath your hips to give you comfort and ease. Let your eyes soften in their sockets. Let your tongue be soft in your mouth, moving away from the top of your mouth. Feel the gentle opening of your heart with your hips slightly elevated. And the most important aspect of this posture is a mild inversion. So your head is slightly below the heart. It might be even more so if your hips are lifted higher. And the energy from your heart coming toward the head. And as well, the heart does not have to pump as much energy to move the blood towards your head. So there's a flushing out. And there's a release. It creates more clarity of the mind. It's a little gift to your heart every time you come into an inversion. Close your eyes, relax. The space between your two eyes, your third eye, maybe keep that one open with your two eyes closed and really soften in here. Maybe you can connect to the rhythm of your heartbeat when you're in this very inward focus. And as the pose goes on, if you would like to go a little bit deeper, something that you can add on is to extend your legs straight out. The heels are tapping down, the toes might fall out, and you start to feel that extension through the hip flexors. So you're welcome to add this aspect into the posture if it feels okay for your back. For some people it might feel a little bit tight in the lower back. Just like a wave, allow your inhale breath to pass through you and gather up any little bits of tension, of tightness, of worries, of stress. And as you exhale like a wave, let it wash away. Maybe think of a few things that you would like to let go of as you're here in this posture, and use the power of your breath to help you release, especially the exhalation. See if you can lengthen and deepen the breath. Maybe even find that small pause at the top of every inhale and exhale. Kambaka. Space in between the breath is really truly the present moment. See if you can find that. And continue to breathe here. See if you can count off 12 more deep breaths. And every time you exhale just a little bit longer than the inhalation. Pause at the very end. And allow yourself a slow, equanimous breath in. So there's not a gasp of air in or a pressure to push the breath out. It's very even flow of breath, just like the tide, in and out. All you did was concentrate and focus on your breath. You could actually get the same benefits from any yoga practice. Breath is paramount in any practice to create this sense of relaxation. Take your last 5 deep breaths here. Last couple of breaths. As you're ready, press your feet down into the mat. Lift your hips enough to slide that block out from underneath you and lie flat onto your back. You can take your feet wide, knees together, one hand on your heart, one hand onto your belly. Take a breath in. And sigh out your mouth. Exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Take your time to bring your knees and feet together. Roll to one side. Stay curled up on your side for a couple of breaths. Really appreciating yourself for taking time for rest, for relaxation, to tune more deeply into yourself. And then use your top hand to push yourself all the way up to your seat. Welcome to sit onto maybe a blanket or a small cushion just for a little bit of extra height here. Give your legs a little shake if you like. We'll come into a seated butterfly, so the soles of the feet will come together. It's up to you how close you bring them in. The closer in, the deeper the inner thigh stretch and the groin stretch. Blocks can be under your outer thighs if that feels good for you. And allow yourself to fold forward. And you might go deeply, you may stay up high. You may even use a big bolster or cushion like I have here. And push it down in the middle a little bit, and then use this as a spring for your forehead. Alternatively, you may lay the bolster down and fold over it. Wherever you decide to be. Maybe the gaze is to the right or to the left, or maybe forehead down. See if you can draw the belly in just a little bit, lay a little bit further forward, and then allow the rounding of the spine. There's a very protective nature of this posture. We're curling in toward ourselves. We're allowing the back line of the body to release. That's our connection to the past. So releasing past hurts and memories, experiences. We're protecting our heart by rounding over the heart. Also, this posture, the butterfly posture, has an aspect of transformation connected to it. There's a personal transformation that happens every time you come onto your mat. And particularly in this pose, as you hold for time, there's a lot of softening and opening that happens through the back line of the body, through the inner thighs and the groin. That's our Muladhara chakra, and Svadhisthana, our sacral chakra. It's our connection to our roots, to our foundation, to our creativity. Let's continue here, focusing on your breath. We're about halfway through the pose, so if you feel like you could go deeper, maybe releasing any props or bolsters and allowing your body to work naturally to its edge. That's really the goal of this practice, is to stay at your working edge, slowly finding softening and opening without forcing or pushing. The slow melt. See if you can count your last 8 breaths. Let your head relax. Let the space between your eyes relax. Last few breaths here. A deep cleansing breath in. Full exhale. Slowly walk your hands back toward your torso. Lift yourself up. Extend your legs out in front of you. Lean back into your hands and shoulders. And let your legs wiggle around a little bit side to side. Maybe chin across your chest, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. Might feel good to windshield wiper your legs side to side. Find something for the next 4 to 5 deep breaths that is neutralizing for you. And coming back into your seat, we will take dragonfly pose. In the yin practice, this is a wide-legged seated forward fold. So you're welcome to sit again where you are up onto that bolster. It's kind of another level of the butterfly pose. This time the legs are open, so much deeper into the inner thighs. And again, you might stay up here. You might need to support yourself behind you with your fingertips. You might want to let your hands extend forward in front. You might again use that big cushion as a way to fold down or a way to support your forehead. So just taking this one level deeper. Try to keep active through your feet. So press out through your heels, toes curling toward your shin bones. Try to lengthen your spine to get into the posture, and then once you get there, you can round. a lot of postures tonight in the realm of the hips, the pelvic region, Svadhisthana, and Muladhara. As I said, the Muladhara chakra is our root chakra, our foundation. And when that's been destabilized, it creates a lot of stress. And that's definitely happening right now during this period of the pandemic and feeling isolated and so much of our foundation being shaken up. And also our ability to be creative and have that creative outlet. And this is represented in the pelvic region. We hold a lot of stress in the pelvic region, especially in the hips. They're often called the seat of our emotions in yoga. So as you find yourself working toward your edge in this posture, maybe you start to release any props so you can go a little bit deeper. Give yourself permission again to let go. And take your last 5 deep breaths here. Last couple breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Again, slowly walk your hands toward your torso. Lean back into your hands. Bring your feet onto the mat. Again, windshield wiper side to side if that feels good. Might feel a little bit different now. There's a much deeper opening of the inner thighs. Coming back to neutral, you can sit yourself up, maybe give your legs a little shake up and down. And we'll make our way forward again into a tabletop position. You're also welcome to come to downward facing dog. So I want you to pedal out one of your legs at a time. So either from tabletop, right heel presses back, toes are tucked, or from downward dog, pressing one heel down, bending the opposite knee. Take about 5 deep breaths here. So a few times on each side. Bring yourself back to neutral as you're ready. And we'll make our way into either deer pose or sleeping swan. So walk your hands just a little bit further forward. Take your left knee to the center. And either sit onto your outer left hip and bring your right knee toward your left foot for deer pose, or extend your right leg all the way back behind you. And you're welcome to stay up on your fingertips to begin with. Tuck your right toes. If you're in sleeping swan, slide the skin of your right knee back and then maybe untuck your toes. Welcome to stay up here. Maybe you use some support of a bolster or a block in front of you. Maybe you take the bolster more to the side. It's up to you. You find a position that works for you. I often like to have a little bit of a twist here, so I'll take the cushion more to the left side. And you get more of a pull down the right hip flexor, but you can also just stay in center. Take your gaze to one side that feels comfortable. To the right will be maybe more natural. To the left will be a deeper twist for the neck. If you're in deer pose, the feet or the knees are making a triangle shape with your groin, and maybe you place a bolster in front of you and lay straight forward. Or maybe you take the bolster more to the left and find that same twist. And gaze to the comfortable side. Relax, let your hips soften, releasing tension from the pelvic region. In this posture, there's no efforting. Allow yourself to soften naturally, just as if you were a little bowl of coconut oil on your counter, and it slowly starts to melt. Just let the melt happen. Sometimes it's too cold and the oil will still stay at that, room temperature, kind of white, solid form, but you can slowly over time see little bits of melting on the outside, and if enough warmth happens, eventually it will melt. So don't try to create the melt with effort. Let it be natural. The breath is the best way to create the melt. You might find on one side you're tighter than the other. It might be easier to take Sleeping Swan on one side versus the other. Try to take the same pose on both sides. So if you chose Deer pose, try to stick with Deer. If you chose Sleeping Swan, try to stick with that Sleeping Swan. See if you can count your last 8 deep breaths here. Slowly you'll start to take your time. Push yourself up and out of the pose and either make your way back to tabletop or downward dog to pedal out those legs. Up to you. Tabletop, one leg will extend behind, rocking that heel back and forth with your toes tucked. Or maybe you push yourself back and up, downward dog, pedaling out the heels. Take a few more breaths wherever you decided to land. Then when you're ready, either from downward dog or tabletop, we'll take the right knee forward to the center and either roll to the outer right hip and place your left thigh in front of your right foot, or come forward onto your hands and slide that left leg far back behind you with your toes tucked. Slide the skin of your left knee back, then untuck your toes. Keep your chest lifted here for a moment for Sleeping Swan, and then slowly start to descend down to any degree. Try to mimic what you did on the other side. If you're coming to Deer pose, keep that left knee behind and either place a bolster cushion if you like, you don't need it, in front of you, straight in front of the knees in that triangle shape, or maybe a little bit to the outside of your right thigh. You get a little bit more of a twist action. And if you want the more gentle twist for the head, then you turn your gaze to the left. If you want a little bit more intensity, turn your gaze to the right side. It might be helpful to think of some things to let go of here. Stay connected to your intention, your personal and collective intention, your dedication. you might find yourself in this practice maybe wandering away, take a deep breath and bring yourself right back into the present moment. And stay here with the breath and the pose. There's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to think about. I think for many of us, there are so many things that we've learned in this past month or so that we probably never even conceived that we would ever even have to think about. In this practice, it's so simple. There is nothing to think about. It's just breathing. Occasionally we might change the shape of our body, but even that is much less important than the connection to the breath. So really luxuriate in the simplicity of this, that there is nothing to think about. Finally, one part of your day, take advantage of that. Nothing to worry about, nowhere to go, nothing to consider. You've given yourself this gift, really the greatest gift, the gift of your breath and your time. See if you can count off 8 more deep breaths here. Your last couple of breaths. Deep inhale. Full exhale, sigh. And slowly push yourself up, either last time into tabletop or downward dog. You might even from downward dog want to lift one leg up, stack your hip, bend your knee. Not a yin posture in itself, but it feels really good to release here. Or maybe even balasana, child pose, arms extended. Wherever you are, giving yourself the gift of 5 more deep breaths. Feel free to use the Brahmari breath, that humming sound, such a beautiful way to release and let go. Then as you're ready, make your way onto your seat, and I will demonstrate a few choices for the next posture, which is a supine twist. So depending how you're feeling this evening, you can choose any of these options. So the most gentle option would be with or without a cushion. It's up to you. It can be between your inner thighs, and you'll drop your knees to the left side, and your left hand can come on top, maybe a cactus arm or a straight arm, depending on the space that you have. And you might even want a cushion underneath your knees, so really up to you, depending how much twist you want. If you want more, you bring the knees up a little higher. Another option is a one knee twist. So the left leg will be bent, and the right knee will come across to the left, and you might want to pat it up. So that's your second option, and same idea, hand on the outer thigh, looking across to the right. The last option, which is cattail, is you'll bend your bottom knee and reach for the top of your foot with your hand, and your left hand will still be on your outer right thigh, and you can turn and twist. So depending how twisty you're feeling this evening, you could choose either of those three options. It's a pretty decent hold. So if you feel like you get into one option, it's too deep for you, then just revert back to the simplest option, which is the 2-knee twist. So both knees together to the left, left leg straight, right knee over, or bend your left knee and reach for the inside of your foot. Catch your little cattail. And if you like, you can, any of those options, gaze to the right. If you're in this cattail, try to relax your right shoulder down. You might need to slide the left shoulder a little bit more to the left to create the space to relax the right shoulder completely down. For some people in cattail, if they want to go one step further, you can extend that top leg straight and wrap your left hand around the outer right edge of your foot. And twists are always a really nice way to relieve ourselves from tension and tightness that builds up all along the spine, but especially in the internal organs. You know, we don't really think about our internal organs in our day-to-day life, but we do notice them when they're not working properly. Like we get a bad stomach ache, or the heart is tight, or indigestion, or all kinds of different issues. And it's really important to squeeze and release those, just like any other muscle. When it feels tight, you give it a little squeeze and release. That's why massages feel so good. But how often do we massage our internal organs? If anything, we put a lot of stuff into our internal organs that makes it hard for them, like the foods that we eat that might not be so good for us. So these twists are a really good way to work out any tension and tightness there and give ourselves that nice massage. Because as you inhale, everything gets to expand. And then as you exhale in that twist, there's that pulling in and bringing out. So enjoy these next 2.5 minutes or so left of this side. See if you can breathe even deeper here in the twist. It would be like a deep tissue massage. The deeper you breathe, the more benefit your internal organs get from this experience. See if you can count your last 8 deep breaths here. Take one more deep breath in. Sigh out your mouth. Now bring your gaze back through center. Place your hands down beside you so you have a little bit of support to bring your hips and knees back through center from wherever you are. Unwind. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze, Apanasana. You're welcome to have one palm per shin and rock side to side, or wrap yourself up in a nice small ball. yourself a good squeeze. And we'll take ourselves to the other side of the twist. So you can take that cushion between your inner thighs, drop your knees to the right. Extend your left arm in a cactus or a T shape. If you want a deeper twist, extend your right leg straight, bring your left knee over top. Again, stay in the twist. Or bend your right knee, reach for the inside arch of your right foot with your left hand and try to roll your left shoulder to the mat. Right hand on top of your left thigh and take your gaze to the left. You really have to work that left shoulder down, so you might need to bring your right shoulder a little bit more to the right. I find I have to do that. Might feel different on this side. And for those of you that went one step further, you can extend that left leg out. Reach for the outer edge of your left foot with your right hand. So a full cattail stretch here. Whichever position you've decided to be in, see if you can get as deep a breath as possible. Getting the maximum massage for those internal organs, that full expansion against the twist of your spine, and then that full wringing out. I like to think of it like you're wringing out a towel. So you need the towel to be long before you go section by section to wring out any water or moisture from the towel. You don't want it all bunched up. So get that full breath to lengthen, and then slowly with that long exhalation, twist and twist and twist. And you don't have to be in a big pretzel shape to get this massage. The simple 2-knee twist is plenty. I think there's a lot of irony in the fact that we need to wind ourselves up in these shapes in order to unwind. All those years of adding tension and tightness really winds us up. And yet we need to do exactly the same to unwind. It's almost like a homeopathic remedy. We have to do the same thing to ourselves that we've already done in order to undo what we've done. So that's the yoga practice, though. It's the process of undoing, uncovering, releasing away those layers to get right to the heart, the true self. Join you on this side. I believe it's exactly 1 month to the day that I started sharing these free yoga classes online. A lot has changed in people's lives in the last month, but something that's remained consistent for me is my yoga practice. And being able to share these practices has kept me teaching. That's amazing and I love it. But also practicing, just having this small element of consistency every day, knowing that I need to show up on my mat. I've committed myself to doing it and also to the public. It's given me more motivation and a sense of belonging and connection that has been so difficult to find during this time. So thank you all for this last month of community and connection, even in these challenging times. Managed to still find a way to come together. See if you can count your last 8 breaths here. Slowly take your last breath or two from wherever you are in the twist. When you're ready, you'll release your hands down to the mat to give yourself the support to bring your knees back into the center. Give yourself a little squeeze, and maybe release your arms and legs up to the ceiling, Viparita Karani. If you practice with me, you know that I like this option of bringing a bolster on top of my feet and extending the legs up to the ceiling. So if you have one of those at home, any kind of cushion is a little bit light compared to a bolster. It's huge, but it's very light. It's kind of a nice feeling to extend the legs straight up and have that pressure pushing down to relax the sacrum. Arms can release, maybe rotating out your wrists. See if you can take 5 or 6 deep breaths. Viparita Karani with or without a bolster or blocks. If you're in this position and you're trying to hold up a bolster or block, make sure your feet are quite wide apart, wider than your hips. When you're ready, bend your knees deeply into your chest. Remove the bolster off of you. We'll start to turn over and roll onto the belly. And keep your head facing in the same direction. I'm putting a couple of poses together that we've done here. We'll take half frog pose. So take your left knee out to the left in line with your hip. Flex your left foot. So you have a 90-degree angle with your thigh and your shin bone and your foot, all 90 degrees. You can make a pillow with your hands. I hope you can still see me on the camera. I tried to line it up so you could. Your elbows out wide, palms facing down, stacked on top of the other, and you can turn your gaze to the left. This is more gentle. Straight down, very neutral. Or if you turn your gaze to the right, it's a deeper stretch for the neck. So feel free to go there. Start to work into your breath here, pushing the pelvis in toward the mat. So be a little bit active here. And continuing this in this position for a couple of minutes on each side. So it won't be a super long hold. Just to really get that leveling out of the front line of the hips. Getting that connection into the hip flexor of the straight leg. Take a few more deep breaths here. You'll slowly start to release your left leg to meet your right. If you want to take a little Sphinx pose, bring your forearms down to the mat, push into your elbows and your palms and lift your chest, a little bit of a back bend. You can even take a seal pose, stretch the belly, palms extend. And then we'll come into the other side. So I just turned around so you could see. So this time the right knee will come out in line with the hip, foot is flexed, pelvis is straight down onto the mat. So it's definitely a beautiful release for the belly. Palms stacked, elbows out wide. Take your forehead straight down. To the right is more is a twist, but a little bit less intense. To the left is more intense. You stay here. Take your last few breaths, everyone. If you're ready to release fully, you'll slide your right leg beside your left leg. Let's take a moment in a neutral position on your belly, forehead down. Just before we move into our setup for Yoga Nidra, we'll do a couple of little pelvic rolls here, which I really like. So take your knees out wide. You're welcome to skip this if you like, but give it a try. Point your toes up to the ceiling and try to keep them touching the whole time. Bring your palms underneath your chest. Inhale, push yourself up. Roll back toward your heels. Let your hips press down. Be in child pose. And then come back up. Let your toes lift. Pelvis comes down, chest flattens, forehead down. Inhale, push back up. Let your toes touch down, hips to heels, knees out wide. Do that a couple more times. It's a really good stretch for the hip flexors. Release for the spine. And then find yourself in child pose. Just take a rest. Welcome to keep going a few more times if you like. When you're ready, Balasana, child pose. Take a couple of deep breaths there in child pose. Feel free to use the Brahmari breath, that nice exhalation, sigh out the mouth. And as you're ready, you'll slowly peel yourself up off the mat. Actually, I'd like to do one last pose before we go to Yoga Nidra and Shavasana. This could be your Shavasana posture. I'll show you now what Shavasana can look like in case you decide you want to go there after this pose. So for Shavasana tonight, because there'll be Yoga Nidra, please get yourself comfortable. You can have a cushion under your head, one under your thighs, and you lay back and relax and cover yourself with a blanket. But before we go there, we'll take supported fish pose. So for supported fish pose, if you have some cushions that you can use underneath your spine, so you can prop yourself up, but your hips will be on the mat, and you'll lay back down onto the cushions. Your legs can be long, or soles of feet together, knees out wide, so either of those variations. You might end up wanting to stay here for Shavasana, and that's totally fine. But if after we finish this posture, you'd like to switch, you'll roll to your side, sit yourself up, and then slide this big cushion underneath your thighs. So you might have to move a little bit to get into Shavasana, but either way it will be worth it. So let's take a few minutes here in supported fish. Beautiful heart-opening, restorative posture. If you're in the butterfly position with your legs, which is always really nice, feel free to support yourself with your blocks. I love the sense of surrender that you get in this posture with the chest pushed up and the shoulders open, palms face up in a gesture of surrender. And from this position, you may wish to stay. Take this as your position for Yoga Nidra and Shavasana. I won't take you out of Shavasana tonight. I'll let you stay as long as you like. I'll go right to the end of the class with Yoga Nidra, and then you relax. And so just a reminder before we get to that part that on Sunday night at 7:15 we'll have another yoga yin class with Yoga Nidra similar to this but different poses. And tomorrow morning 9:15 a.m. 90-minute power. And for those of you that are interested, I've uploaded a lot of my yoga videos that I've been making just here in my living room, the same ones you've been watching to YouTube, so you can watch them on YouTube. Let's take a few more minutes here in this pose. I'll just let my dogs out so they won't bark during Shavasana. continuing in your yoga, or in your supported fish pose. Oops, yeah, really dark. Come on. A little bit more light on here. See if you can capture 8 more deep breaths here in supported fish, and then you're welcome to stay, or I'll let you know when it's time to transition into Shavasana if you wish to change your shape. You know, there's no right or wrong in this practice. Any of these poses can be modified or added onto for your own needs, your own comfort. I think the most important element of this particular practice is that less is more. It's not important to try to do anything more than what feels easeful and restful in your body. Last couple of breaths. And if you wish to change your posture now into Shavasana, as I showed you with the bolster under your thighs and laying back down onto a cushion, after your next couple of breaths, take your time to roll to one side. And then when you're ready, you can push yourself up and change shape, or stay exactly as you are. And if people are switching into the position for Shavasana, I'll give you some time to do that now. And we'll enter into a Yoga Nidra practice, which is a mindful practice in which you'll try to follow my voice through your body. Take yourself on a little tour, self-guided, well, a guided tour by me through your body. And every time you hear the name of a place in your body, a body part, try to relax it. Doesn't mean you have to move it, but send your breath there to relax. So first of all, get comfortable. Hopefully you are either still in supported fish or Shavasana. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And a big sigh out your mouth. Exhale. Now bring your awareness right to the crown of your head. All the way to the crown of your head. Breathe in. And see if you can drop your awareness all the way down to the bottom. All the way to your toes. Take a breath in. Bring that awareness all the way back up to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, drop it all the way down into your toes. And now stay at your toes, all the way to your left big toe. Relax your left big toe. Relax your second toe. Relax your third toe. Relax your fourth toe. Relax your fifth toe. Relax all of the toes on your left foot. Relax the sole of your foot. Relax the top of your foot. Relax your ankle and your heel. Relax your left lower leg, your left knee, your left thigh, and your left hip. Feel the whole left leg completely relaxed, heavy like a sandbag. And again, bring your awareness all the way to the top of the head. Big breath in. And as you exhale, drop that awareness all the way down to your right big toe. Relax your right big toe. Relax your second toe. Relax your third toe. Relax your fourth toe. And relax your fifth toe. Relax all of the toes on your right foot. Relax the top of your foot. Relax the sole of your foot. Relax your ankle. Relax your heel. Relax your right lower leg. Relax your knee. Relax your right upper leg. Relax your hip. Relax your whole right leg from top to bottom, heavy like a sandbag. Both of your legs rooting you down into your mat. Now take a breath in, bring it all the way up, all the awareness to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, drop that awareness all the way down your left arm, all the way to your left thumb. Relax your left thumb. Relax your second finger, your third finger, your fourth finger, and your fifth finger. Relax all of the fingers on your left hand. Relax the top of your hand. Relax the palm of your hand. Relax your wrist. Relax your left lower arm. Relax your left elbow. Relax your left upper arm. Relax your left shoulder. Let your whole left arm soften and relax. Now take a breath in. And let that awareness travel right up to the crown of your head again. And as you exhale, drop that awareness all the way down the right side into your right thumb. Relax your right thumb. Relax your second finger, your third finger, your fourth finger, your fifth finger. Relax all the fingers in your right hand. Relax the top of your hand. Relax the palm of your hand. Relax your wrist. Relax your right lower arm. Relax your elbow. Relax your upper arm. Relax your right shoulder. Feel your entire right arm relaxing. Take a breath in right to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, feel the softening of your arms and your legs. Complete relaxation. Super heavy like sandbags. Couldn't move if you tried. Now take another deep breath in right to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, travel all the way down to your tailbone and stop there for a moment. Breathe in and relax your tailbone. Relax your pelvic region. Relax your lower back. Relax your hips. Relax your belly. Take a breath in. Soften and relax. Continue to travel up the spine. Relax your abdominal area. Relax your mid-back. Relax your rib cage. Relax your chest. Relax your upper ribs. Relax your upper back. Relax the whole spine from top to bottom, front to back, side to side. Bring your awareness to your whole torso all at once. Take a breath in. Expand with light and energy and buoyancy. And as you exhale and contract, let it soften and relax completely. Again, breathe in right to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, let the breath travel to the base of your throat. Relax the front of your throat. Relax the back of your throat. Relax the sides. Relax your neck from the inside out, from top to bottom, side to side. Take another breath into the crown of your head. And this time as you exhale, see and feel your whole face, your whole head surrounded in this beautiful white light that you've generated through Sahasrara, the crown of your head. Feel all of your facial features softening from the crown, down the sides, over your ears, over your jaw, over your face, completely relaxing your whole head. And just as if you were that bowl of coconut oil on a kitchen counter, see it as beautiful, white, solid coconut oil. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, the entire bowl softens and liquefies all at once. And let your whole body be that coconut oil, softening and liquefying all at once. Take a breath in, full breath out, and allow yourself to soften and deepen and transition into your Shavasana. Have a beautiful rest. Beautiful evening ahead. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful energy with me and everyone else. either right now live or at a later time. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.